Today what I'm going to make is apple cider vinegar, and the reason for this is that I'm tired of buying apple cider vinegar from the store, a quart for $5. I'm really tired of doing that, and I have good Macintosh apples here ready to go. This is what I am going to sterilize my jar in. It's a very large jar. I put water inside the jar, and then I put it inside a pot with a little bit of water, put the lid on, and let it come to a boil and steam it for 15 minutes, and then it's sterilized. So I'm excited to get started. Okay, this one is from the seeds and the peels, all that. This is from the cider itself. Try this one first and tell me which one tastes like vinegar. This one? Okay. Alright, so the trick for home preservation is not necessarily to eliminate all other bacteria and all other strains of any kind of living thing besides the one that you want to grow. The biggest trick is to feed your bacteria what it loves to eat the most. Have plenty of it available, and then it will be the bacteria that takes over. So with vinegar, what it has to do is it has to go from juice to alcohol to vinegar. There's 3 different states that it's going to be in. So The kind of bacteria that you want to grow in this is a sugar-loving bacteria. And so even though what it looks like we're just laying on the sugar in this, what we're doing is we're just trying to feed the bacteria. It can get a start on its own if you already have the correct bacteria in your air from having made vinegar before. But if you are a vinegar bacteria free zone, if you don't have the right bacteria in your air, there's nothing to prevent other bacterias from getting into it and making it go bad. So what I'm gonna do, I have sterilized the jars, but just recognize that the apples themselves were not sterilized. This has to be a raw process. It can't be cooked apples. And back in the olden days when they used a cider press, everything on the ground was what they used to make cider. It was very contaminated. And so the way that you have home preserving go right is to encourage whatever it is that you want to have live in it and give it food. I'm trying to let you guys see the apples on the ground, the tree, and then the frozen tomatoes. The girls came out and pretty much cleaned it of any sizable tomatoes last night. And then again, we've got all these apples on the ground that need to be raked up and put into a bucket so that we can go take them out to the swale. Alright, so this swale is just a little ditch in the ground and it's unmaintained. The only thing I do here is water. So whatever comes up is strong and can kind of manage itself. So the only things I put in here are seeds from really hardy fruit trees, fruit bushes like Nanking cherries, or these crab apples. The other thing I have in here is poplars. And I just dump seeds in and then we water them through the season. And you see that some of the apples are still on top of the grass. When the snow comes over, it will press them down into the soil and they may or may not come up, but we'll put enough apples in here to give them a fighting chance. And this is how we do it.
tracks it soaring into the atmosphere. I hear murmurs behind me. I glance back. There must be 200 people in the auditorium, and every face is stricken. The unspoken assumption is that the rocket was destroyed before it reached orbit.
Taking her to the breeders. What are you doing? Go back. Go back. Go back. You can't be out here on the road. It's a little chilly this morning. I don't know how bad everything got frosted. There's obviously frost. Hard to tell just how bad it got them. Mr. Piggy is smelling pretty stinky. Kaya needs to go get all his poop pulled out. Okay, go ahead and put the bait down on the bridge so that you both have access to it. You feel happy? Yeah. Good spot? Cold, huh? Cold. That's why you brought your stuff.
I just grabbed on 2 pairs of pants. See any fish?
If you guys want to walk along the road, that road, a little further down, and look for a spot where you think you can get your lure in better, or watch for little blips,